everybody, to Season 1, Episode 1 of Face MelterZ. I'm Mike Vincent. He is Bruce Bennett. But if you love guitars, if you love anything about them, custom guitars, custom works, looking for those little things, that screw that just completes your 1954 Gibson SG or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah, those are expensive.
Bruce has got it, and he knows probably how much they cost, and if he doesn't have it, he knows who does, right?
Yeah.
And if they don't,
Yeah.
he could probably make one from memory.
Well, no, I would probably want to have some. If I want to get some good examples, but yeah, we could make you one.
You could make it
if we had to.
You could. And let me tell you what exactly
for a fee.
for a fee, absolutely. So this is your life, man. I mean, you do this. You don't do this for the money.
Well, there isn't any money to do it for.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, that's what you hear, right? If you're into
people,
music, don't do it to be rich, because most people are not going to be rich.
You do this because you have a passion for music.
Yeah.
And that is really the whole point of this. And that's kind of what I've done. I've spent my entire life, literally since I was about 16 years old, trying to learn more about guitars, the device we call a guitar, and all of its intricacies and the physical way this thing operates.
Yeah.
And how to get tones out of it, and so on and so forth. So, it's been a work of passion for sure.
Yeah, a life of passion.
Yeah, absolutely.
I spent my whole life playing air guitar, which is really easy. You can get the most magical tones out. Really anything you want.
Absolutely.
You can mimic any preamp, any cabinet.
Inexpensive too.
It's very, very inexpensive. It really. I mean, at the beginning, I think I invested like $15 in an 8-track. Remember the old 8-track pumps?
I do.
my first album was Tommy.
Oh wow!
Right,
okay.
my 8-track. My second one was Kiss Double Live.
Gotcha. I wore out Kiss Alive 1 myself pretty well.
Yeah. So that's what we're talking about here. And I picked up the guitar like 5 years ago or 6 years ago when I met you. I just started playing.
Right.
When I met you.
I remember that.
And now I'm playing like crazy. And you helped me along the way, learning different things. I had that Martin that I could not, for the life of me, get the buzz out of.
Right.
And you told me it's a bluegrass guitar, man. It's set, the action's high. It's there to be loud, to get over the higher instruments.
Right.
And you shaved down that action a little bit for me. Beautiful guitar, absolutely like butter.
Well,
Please,
I'm glad you liked
absolutely
it.
Perfect. No, it's perfect. And
that is what I work for right there. It's not the money. It's about people going, man, you really helped me get what I wanted.
You did a couple other refurb jobs for me. That Roland Bolt head, the Roland Bolt 60 head.
Yeah.
That people.
That thing is.
There's probably people out here watching out going, that doesn't exist. Because I'll tell you what, there's people out there that have told me it didn't exist, and I said,
underrated.
baloney, I got one from Bruce.
It's a highly underrated head. You don't see too many of them, but the Roland Bolt series was actually a really good sounding head. It's a mix of tube and solid state.
Yeah, it's like a hybrid.
Yeah, but it's actually the front end is solid state. And the back end is tube.
That's right.
But very loud, very powerful, great sounds.
Well, and the argument about that whole thing, the positive for it was
it.
like, if you're running through any stomp boxes,
oh yeah,
you're running solid state into tube anyway.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
What are you complaining about?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's not a bad move at
all.
all.
The clean on it and acceptance of pedals, beautiful. What a great head. That thing is great. Well, I pulled this off the wall while you were in there taking a shower before the show. The man works for a living, if you don't know that. So it's not all glamour, right? You're not on the red carpet every day.
No, 20 minutes ago I was covered in dust from sanding a fender neck. Yeah,
yes, you were. Yes, you were. And we appreciate it. Us geeks out here appreciate that you're covered in dust every day.
That's kind of the job, you know.
It is.
A lot of people. I used to kill me because for a while I worked at Gibson.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that I've met since leaving there they seem to have this romanticized idea that there's leprechauns and unicorns and all this stuff dancing around.
Butterflies and unicorns and rainbows.
Yeah, that everybody's happily building guitars.
Long-haired, leaping
and that
gnomes.
really isn't the truth.
No.
It's a production shop. They've got to get things done. They got a quota. You don't make quota, you don't have a job tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal.
They're struggling.
They are. They got to make good guitars.
It's a tough.
Really fast.
I didn't know if you noticed the camera's over there.
Oh yeah, but I'm talking to you.
I
don't know where
I'm on some other podcasts and they have big red and green lights on the cameras. I never look at them.
Yeah.
No clue what's going on.
I don't know where to look.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just look that way and we'll talk. But I pulled out this while you were out here, right? This was in a bag just a plastic baggie like this. So everybody can a plastic baggie on the wall, and there's hundreds of them over here, and there's a whole shop over the other way. What the heck is this?
Oh well, this is.
I mean, this is just these bolts that are just.
This,
well, I'll get a picture of them later for you guys.
This is the so-called Lightning bar wrap-over bridge found on 60s Gibsons, usually the lesser expensive models like the SG Junior.
That's what I was going to say, like an SG, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And they're great little bridges. They're rather uniquely built in the fact that, sorry, that's really tough for me to do.
I'm going to take pictures of it and I'll put it up on the...
It's cast. It's got a lot of casting holes in it, and it's rather unique. And unfortunately, they have a nasty habit of breaking right around these ears.
Ooh.
But, and so therefore...
Is that for people over-torquing it or something? Or?
Well...
Just stress.
Truth is, it seems to be mostly people putting really heavy strings on them. Now, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people who love junior-type guitars, and they love to put 11s on them, because by George, they got tone.
Sure they do.
They sound great. I mean, if you ever listen to Mountain's Mississippi Queen, you know what kind of a tone that they can put out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You're right.
So, but these bridges, they're great bridges. They're hard to come by now, and they're kind of a dying breed.
But by God, you got them here.
We got them. If you need them, we have it.
If you need them, yeah. This is just the rest of it, right?
This is the original stud.
Yeah. Okay.
And what's interesting about these, this came out of a 1965 Gibson SG. This is a 1-inch long stud with its 1-inch long insert. Now this is important for two reasons. Number one, this is original factory Gibson stuff, and it's also found on the 59 Les Pauls.
Ooh.
Yeah, so the
bridge isn't, but these are.
Yeah, this bridge is not, but these are.
Yeah.
And they use these same studs and inserts on the 59 Les Paul. So if you're building a 59 Les Paul, I know people who, I'm actually offering this on Reverb right now as a complete set.
Yeah.
But I know people who separate them and get double the money.
Yeah, well, you could, right? I mean, why would if you're doing a 59 Les Paul, why would you change? Why would you take this as well? Somebody might be looking for that SG.
Right.
Take it and sell it yourself. Whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I like I say, I've seen a pair of these studs go for $125.
No kidding.
I've seen this go for $150 on Reverb recently.
Yeah.
Now I know the pricing of stuff goes up and down, and who's to say what it'll go for?
What are you selling it for?
Well, I'm asking for $200. Actually,
I
got it. I'm asking $185 for the pair.
Oh, there you go. That's a deal.
I just dropped my price on that.
Yeah,
so.
That's a heck of a deal. So I could buy that pair and then sell half of it and make myself $50.
You probably could. What you would do.
And let's get into that a little bit, because I want to kind of set the tone here. Now, we've talked about this. We talked about a couple of other things, but I want to talk about you specifically in this one. And, nobody's going to listen to me talk about guitars unless they don't know much, because I learned basically everything off of the internet or you.
I got you.
And a lot of times the internet's wrong. What I've learned, because anybody can put anything on the internet.
I got to warn you.
Yeah.
I got a motto. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong some more.
Well, that's true. But I've also witnessed some of the greatness that you've done. You redid what was that Fender Bandmaster? Was it a 67?
67 Bandmaster.
67 Bandmaster.
Well, you ended up with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was a really nice.
I've got that, and I got that.
And it was a rescue job
as well. That thing was.
It was a total rescue job.
It's absolutely beautiful.
And that's kind of been a little bit of my, mission in life, is to save some of these pieces that are like really being abused. Not that I'm complaining. There's plenty of musicians that want to experiment with things, and some guy will take a vintage cabinet and he probably did it when it was not vintage; it was just used.
Right.
And they strip all the stuff off of it and put fur on it and sparkly plaid, paisley, whatnot, grill cloth. Which
looks
is
like Boots Collins should be playing it.
Right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm okay with experimentation when it comes to finding a sound or even a look. That's a super rare Gibson right there.
There's a rare Gibson. Why don't you grab that one? You want to grab that one and we'll talk about it for a second? This is the stuff I'm talking about, people. This is a gem in Hickson,
most guys are going to cringe
Tennessee.
as soon as they see this. This is a 1983 Gibson Futura. I'm going to mention its other brother's name, called the Corvus. Most people have seen the Corvus because it was made a lot. They made quite a few of those in 83 through 85.
Yeah.
The Futura is a neck through. It's not a bolt neck like its brother, the Corvus. And they didn't make many of these.
So a neck through is this just comes all the way through the body.
It's one piece.
It's
that
one
goes from
piece.
here to
it's
here,
not
and
here.
It's all the way through.
Is that a benefit, or is that a deterrent?
No, it's definitely a benefit as far as tone and structure.
Okay.
And it's a much more difficult way to build a guitar.
Yeah, I can hold on to it.
So
And this is the
for what
you're
that's
telling me
worth.
this is the original color.
that is the original ultraviolet color that they were.
So did you leave this in there because you're
model
going to
only
match
came in
it? You're
3
going to
colors.
try and match this original color?
We are.
Okay.
Now this guitar is a rescue. It was rough. Somebody had really abused it, and we are stripping it down. We've got new logos, and we're going to redo the whole thing. And it's going to be absolutely stellar when we get done with it.
Oh,
and it's
trust
going to
me.
look like the real thing.
It's
And
beautiful.
it will be the real thing.
This
We
is
have all the
really
original
nice.
parts.
Now when I picked this up the first time that I was in here, there's an interesting thing because I said this is almost like a traveler guitar,
A little bit.
and
Well,
you told me some interesting stuff about this headstock.
there's a kind of a cool story, and I'm going to plug a fellow named Trogley.
Please do.
Who does Trogley's Guitar Show on YouTube. And he's got a really good video about these. This guitar, a lot of people call it the Pac-Man guitar or the crow, or bird's beak or whatever, because of the shape.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is this guitar was originally created by a fellow named Chuck Burge out of the Gibson Kalamazoo plant, and it was determined that it was going to be headless.
Yeah.
Because in '83, headless was in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was a
Yeah,
big,
sure.
with Steinbergers and all that stuff. Everybody was going headless. Court, Honer, everybody was doing a headless guitar.
Gotcha.
So Gibson designed this thing as headless. The idea was you had 6 tuning keys going down this surface here.
Hence the cut here.
Right. That's what this was about. But they approved the design at Kalamazoo,
Yeah.
sent it down to the marketing department, which was located in Nashville, who promptly said, no, it has to have a headstock. And they said, why? And he says, because we don't know where to put the logo.
There's no. You heard the insanely hot lick for the opening of this show.
I did.
Just amazing. I don't know who wrote. Actually, I wrote that.
Wow.
I wrote that, and I recorded the whole thing. I played the bass, I played the rhythm part of it, and then I laid down the masterful, unbelievable lead licks over top of it.
True face melting and its finest.
Face melting at its finest in my daughter's bonus room, my playroom.
Wow. How did you ever pry her out of it?
All I had to do is turn on my guitar and they run.
Oh, well, like I said, just turn it on and you're dangerous.
But so here's the thing. I've got something here because I mentioned that I met you like 6 years ago, and I bought this from you, and this is what I recorded on. All except the bass line, obviously.
Right.
So this is, I don't even see the headstock there, but that is a Bennett Custom deal right here. I call this one Brutus because I promptly put a little Brutus Buckeye sticker on here because it's Brutus because it kills. I mean, this is a fabulous guitar. Just amazing. And that's why I say, when you talk about the things that you know, I know you know what you're talking about because this is better than the Les Paul that I had.
Wow.
This is.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm not that great.
That's saying a lot.
But it really is. This is a.
There's
hell
plenty
a
of people
guitar.
out there who probably want to argue with you about that.
Well, they probably would, and they might be right because they're probably better players than I am. I'm just saying I enjoy playing the hell out of this guitar.
You know,
and I'm into it
that
5
really
years.
is the whole point of
Yeah.
playing guitar.
Yeah, it really is. This, and I've got a Fender American Telly. Those two are my favorites.
Can't
this
go wrong
one,
either
this
one.
one for getting heavy and crunchy, it's killer. You got the Pearly Gates here,
Yep, Seymore Duncan Pearly Gates.
and a Seymore Duncan. Now we switched this out because it
we
had
did switch that out because, and no offense to Seymore, but originally we had tried a duck bucker in there, and it just didn't made up right with that Pearly. So we pulled that out and put in a little 59, which just was a perfect complement to the Pearly.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah, and it's a Seymore
just
Duncan as well. Obviously,
It's just a little rock machine.
So
is what it is now.
But so this has got this piece of wood in here. I thought was interesting, right? So, and that's why I brought it out here for this one here because
there's
you
a story
make it.
behind
You
that.
made it a long time ago, and you told me the story behind this piece of wood, and I'd love to kind of do that here for the first show, if you don't mind. That'd be cool.
Not a problem.
So,
So when I first started playing guitar, my dad worked for Sears, and he brought home a little cheap Silvertone type guitar,
Yeah.
which played terrible. It
Yeah.
was a true cheese grater, and It didn't take.
Jeez, great.
Oh, it was awful. I mean, the action was that high. The strings were that high off the neck. I'm not kidding.
Love it.
It was the old thing of here's a chord chart, here's your guitar, go in your room, don't come out until you play a song. 3 hours later, I come out and I said, I can play a song now. I was about maybe 11 years old or something. And,
do you remember what you learned?
I think it was Red River Valley.
Okay,
I believe it was, because that was what was on the chord chart. That
Okay,
came
I
with the
got
guitar.
you. I got you.
And
Mine was the Wabash Canyon.
to give you a better idea of what the guitar was like, my dad worked at Sears.
Mm-hmm.
Someone had bought the guitar through the catalog and returned it to the local store, and it was in the return bin. My father bought it for $10 out of the return bin.
Sweet.
Okay, so that tells you just how rough this thing was.
Almost as rough as that thing.
Oh, it was bad. Well, anyway, to get not too far back on the track here.
Yeah, let's digress and get back to where we were.
Basically, I came out and played my little song. And,
Yeah.
the first thing I did is put my hand up there, and I had blood run down.
Your fingers are all bloody.
My mom fainted dead away, and that was the end of that. But a few years later, I got a chance to went to school and took a guitar appreciation class, which I thought easy A right there.
Yeah.
Because I knew
'Cause
something.
I appreciate
about
the hell
guitar.
out of guitars, and I can prove it.
Right. And I met a fella named Rick Franz. I'll never forget him. He walked in one day with a 1977, brand new. He just bought it. He bought it with his own money. Brand new Les Paul Custom Black Beauty with a protector case.
Yeah.
Clean as a whistle. Absolutely mint. And I said, can I play that for a minute?
Yeah.
And I sat down and played it. And it was like, oh, so this is what a guitar is supposed to play like.
Yeah.
It's like, aha. Now, at that point, I'm 14, right?
Yeah.
And I asked my dad that night, I said, hey, Pops, you think we can go look at a Gibson guitar?
Yeah, right, yeah. Or maybe a car.
Yeah, sure. Well, I was more interested, at 14, I was more interested in guitars than cars.
Yeah, but Gibson was going to be a little more than $10 for a
I didn't
return bin.
I didn't know. It's my first foray into buying something.
I got you.
We went to the local store, and the guy came out, and my dad said, well, we'd like to look at a Gibson Les Paul Custom, and he showed it to us and said that'll be $800.
Wow.
And my dad thanked him, walked out the door, got in the car, and I said, I could see by the look of his face, I was like, what's eating you, Pop? And he said, son, our family car didn't cost $800.
$800, that's right.
And of course he was right. And then of course the next thing he said was faithful. He said, you want one of those, you better learn how to build one, because I will never pay $800 for no hunk of wood.
No kidding.
That's what he said, and that set me on the
"All
path.
right, Pops, here."
Ask me
knowledge
questions.
out here.
Don't ask me questions unless you want to know
Yeah,
something.
don't ask him if you don't want to know something.
Because my head's full of crap.
I don't consider crap, and I don't think anybody else does. Hey, that's it for episode 1. I hope you guys, and season 1, episode 1, the story of Brutus with Bruce Bennett. We'll be back again. We're going to do a lot of these things, hopefully. There's so much knowledge
I'm
in
looking
that
forward
brain,
to it.
and so many things inside of this shop that we could literally, we could just go on forever and ever and ever. Hey,
There's 42
this
years
show.
of junk back there.
There's
We can
42
pull out something interesting every week.
42 years of junk, and there's a lot of gold nuggets in there. You got a pair of twins back there we got to bring out one of these days.
Oh, yeah.
And those are beautiful.
Yeah.
Those are beautiful back there. So, hey, you can hit me up at michaelwjvincent at gmail.com with any questions, comments, or anything like that. Also, LinkedIn at Ocean 7 Music. And you can also hit me on a Tweeterizer at Ocean 7 Music.
That's very cool stuff, man.